The discouraging thing for many Americans right now is just time is running out for those that are having to depend on the enhanced unemployment insurance.
I would say there's not an agreement on anything.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows saying Republicans and Democrats are nowhere even close to a deal on a new coronavirus relief package with the $600 weekly supplement ending this week. The clock is ticking with 32 million Americans out of work. Joining us now, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy joining us. Senator, good morning to you and welcome. So you've got Mark Meadows saying not much progress has been made. McConnell is saying roughly 20 Republican senators think that there's already been enough stimulus. Listen.
There are about 20 of my members who think we've already done enough, and some who regret that we did what we did back in April and March. I think that's an understandable position. The majority of my conference thinks that we do need to act again, but that they believe adding $3 trillion to the national debt is a serious mistake. We have divided government.
So where does that leave us, Senator?
Sandra, this place, I have learned, requires a lot of fake smiling. But I don't feel like doing it today, so I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. What we have here is an impressively large cluster event. As bad as it looks from the outside, you ought to see it from the inside. It is a true goat rodeo. There is a way to fix this that I think is worth a shot, and I'll be glad to tell you about it if you want to hear it.
Tell us. I mean, the American people need to hear this because there are millions of people still out of work, still reeling from this pandemic, and that is not over. Things could get worse. They could get better. We do not know. But there's certainly a lot of American families and businesses that need help. So what are you doing as a member of Congress to get that done as the clock is ticking, Senator?
Well, this is hurting the American people. And here's what I propose. In the Senate, you've got big shots and you've got little shots. Those are descriptive terms, not pejorative. And the problem we have, certainly with Republicans, but also with some Democrats, is that the big shots can't get their way because the little shots won't go along. The most pressing problem, not the only one, but the most pressing problem we have is unemployment insurance. Now, no fair-minded person wants a system that would pay someone more not to work than to work. So the $600 is not gonna fly, but we've got to do something to help people because through no fault of their own, many Americans don't have a job to go back to because government shut down their economy. What the leadership needs to do is put an unemployment insurance bill on the floor of the Senate and let senators be senators. Let us debate, let us offer amendments, and then let us decide. And I will bet you that if he will do that, in the matter of days, we can come to some sort of agreement. Will everybody be happy? No, that's why God made compromises.
Senator Kennedy, how do you get anywhere when you've got members of your own party in the Senate at odds with the White House on how to get this done? I mean, do you support in its entirety what has been unveiled in the Senate by your party?
No, there's a lot of spending porn in the bill. And I've told my colleagues and I've told the White House, now's not the time to build a new FBI building. Now's not the time to renovate the West Wing of the White House. Now's not the time to give $175 million to the Corporation for Public Radio. This is supposed to be a coronavirus bill. But let me tell you, you know the way you solve the unemployment compensation problem? You put a bill on the floor and let everybody have a vote. We each have one vote, and let us be senators. And the problem we have now is that the big shots on both sides of the aisle, they're trying to control the process, but the little shots are not going along.
All right, we spent a lot of time on that, worthy time on that, but I want to get to two other things. Yesterday, there was a hearing on Capitol Hill. Virtually, we saw some of the richest men in the world that head up big tech companies answer tough questions from lawmakers, in some cases, about stifling conservative voices. Here was an exchange with Jim Jordan. Listen.
Our goal is to offer a platform for all ideas. We want to give everyone in the world a voice to share their experiences and ideas. A lot of that is day-to-day things that happen in their lives. Some of it is political. We do not want to become the arbiters of truth.
We have talked about this in the past, Senator Kennedy. I know that you have strong feelings on it. Where does your concern lie, and what level of concern do you have of those companies, those CEOs' influence in the 2020 election?
Well, I have a lot of concern. There are two problems. Number one, these social media platforms are massive in their size, their revenue, and their influence. They're not companies, they're countries. Number two, they're run by young, smart, left-of-Lenin liberal people who value money first, but their political beliefs second. And most of their employees are left-of-Lenin liberals. And they do discriminate against conservative points of view. Now, the irony is that the Democrats are mad at them because the Democrats think they don't discriminate, they meaning the platforms, don't discriminate enough. One option is to consider breaking them up. Another option is to ask the FTC to do its job and make them stop discriminating one way or the other.
Well,
the problem with the
And I don't mean to cut you off. The CEOs obviously pushed back on that. They said that their goal is not to stifle conservative voices and not to.
Well, they're lying. They're lying. And the FTC needs to do its job. The problem with the FTC is, to use a Louisiana expression, the FTC takes an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. It takes them years instead of weeks or months.
Okay, so
they need to enforce the law.
Just to be clear, we're running out of time. You do support calling on breaking up these big tech giants?
As a last resort, I would call on the FTC to do its job first. My first preference is to have the FCC enforce what I think is the law, that they're not supposed to offer their political opinion. They're supposed to offer all opinions. But if the FTC is not going to do it, yeah, we've got to look at something that will create competition.
Senator Kennedy, always appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you. Good to see you.
Bet.